Hi, I'm Dan and welcome to Polar Currency and video number 43. I want to apologize for my voice. I've got a nice little cold going on this week. But I'm interrupting my regularly scheduled program of the SmackDown series because I ran out of time. The 1970s SmackDown will continue for the next video. So I'm going with a filler and the second video of what's in my office, because occasionally I get asked that question. Especially because I'm a currency guy and I got coins laying around. But I did start with coins, specifically U.S. state quarters. Since my early collecting days, I became interested in larger silver coins like the half dollar and the dollar size coins. See the description below for the first What's in My Office, Part 1, about my U.S. silver dollar type collection. There's just something really cool about a big piece of silver in your hand, and that you don't need the Hubble microscope to enjoy the coin. So today I'm sharing my non-U.S. world sovereign silver dollar coins. Some are actual coins, some are commemoratives, and some are bullion. Why these coins? I just like the look of them, and some of them because they have a story to tell. Please bear with me, I am not a coin expert, so go easy on me, you numismatic coin people. All right, enough babble. Let's get started with our friends to the north at the Royal Canadian Mint. The obverse of the Canadian silver 1935 $1 coin features the imperial crown portrait of King George V, who was King of England from 1910 to 1936. This was only a 2-year design because George V died in 1936, which meant you needed a new monarch for 1937. The reverse displays the Voyager design that would continue on the Canadian dollar off and on until 1986 when the $1 loonie came into existence. The engraving depicts a French Voyager and a First Nations man paddling a canoe. I really like the simple beauty with the canoe, the pine tree, and the northern lights in the sky. It was kind of cool to find the original drawing of the reverse at the Bank of Canada Museum website. The coin was originally issued to commemorate the 25th anniversary of George V's reign, and the Latin text translates to George V, King Emperor, 25th year of reign. But the coin was popular and it's not a commemorative anymore, and so for 1936 the text was changed to George V, by the grace of God, the King and Emperor of India. The 1949 Canadian silver dollar was a recommendation from Dean over at Massabesic Gold and Silver. He lives in New Hampshire and he's half Canadian, so I guess he'd know. It has the portrait of King George VI, who reigned from 1936 until 1952. The obverse was issued beginning in 1937. The Latin text reads, George VI, by the grace of God, King. 1949 is considered the first year this design, as the Latin was changed when India gained independence in 1947. The 1948 Latin read, George VI, by the grace of God, King and Emperor of India. The reverse commemorates Newfoundland and Labrador joining the Dominion of Canada on March 31st, 1949. The ship Matthew is featured, whom John Cabot, an Italian explorer under the commission of England's King Henry VII, sailed from Bristol, England to North America in 1497. The reverse engraving by Thomas Shingles is why I got this coin. It's an absolutely beautiful depiction and was remarkably engraved directly into steel by hand because there wasn't a pantograph available at the time. I don't know what that is, but it sounds like I know what I'm talking about. The Latin inscription translates to, May the new earth flourish. I got the 1963 Canadian silver dollar because I wanted a nice, affordable example of the original Queen Elizabeth II design, which was used from 1953 through 1964. This coin has just a touch of cameo, which most of them have, by the way, a hint of proof, and a lot of flashy luster. The Latin text translates to Elizabeth II, by the grace of God, Queen. The reverse reverts back to the Voyager canoe. The condition of this coin allows you to see some details that you couldn't on the 1935. See the HB on the pack of the furs in the canoe? That stands for Hudson Bay Company, and the indigenous marking on the front of the canoe? Super cool. I wanted the 1967 silver dollar from Canada because of the reverse, but we'll stay on the obverse for a bit. This was the third year of the second generation portrait of Queen Elizabeth II. Like the 1963, it has a hint of cameo and a little bit of proof, which again isn't unusual. The simplicity of the reverse got me this coin. Not often do you see that much negative space on a modern issue coin. The 1967 was issued to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Confederation of the Dominion of Canada, along with all circulating coins depicting native animals to Canada with the Canadian goose on the dollar. And by the way, all of their coins were centennial commemoratives, not just 3. 2 of which had zero design imagination in the U.S. for the 75 and 76 bicentennials. All of the Canadian commemoratives were just simple, beautiful designs. Well, it can't be hard to figure out why I have the 3rd coin of the Canadian Wildlife series. I'm starting out with the reverse because it features a polar bear with her cub in Canada's Arctic. The border has fine radial lines that serve as a security enhancement feature. The front features the 2003 and last portrait of Queen Elizabeth II that was used on this $8 coin. The face value is 8 because the coin is 1.5 ounces of 0.9999. Did I say it right? 9? I don't know. Silver. And note that the entire background has the radial lines. The 1 troy ounce .9999 silver maple leaf bullion coin has been minted by the Royal Canadian Mint since 1988. All of the $5 face value maple leafs have the 2003 portrait of Queen Elizabeth II. Check out the radial lines in the coin's background added in 2014. The design of the reverse basically has remained unchanged since 1988. Except for the addition of new security features, including the micro-engraved security mark maple leaf at the bottom. The laser engraved technology actually has the coin's date as part of the micro maple leaf. That's pretty impressive. You've seen this coin a few times, so I'll be brief. The 2019 Proof Libertad from Mexico has no marked face value and features the Monument of Independence in Mexico City. You can see the Bank of Mexico mint mark and the 2 volcanoes in the background of the .999 silver bullion coin. The reverse features the modern coat of arms of Mexico at center, surrounded by 10 previous versions. The level of detail in the smaller previous versions is amazing for Mexico's official bullion coin that was first issued in 1982. The design of the 2019 has been minted since 1996. This next coin is one of my favorites, the Republic of Panama's 90% silver 1 Balboa. The portrait is of Vasco Núñez de Balboa, the first European to lead an expedition across the Panama Peninsula from the Atlantic to the Pacific Oceans. His name became Panama's currency name. The detail level of Balboa is impressive, especially when you zoom in on his helmet. The 1 silver Balboa was minted from 1931 to 1947 and again in 1953, and the modern version is still issued today and minted by the Royal Canadian Mint. But the reverse is what got my attention. It depicts a Panamanian standing liberty holding a fasces in one arm, a bound bundle of wooden rods with an axe with its blade emerging. The fasces are a Roman symbol for power and authority. The fasces also appear on the reverse of the U.S. Mercury dime issued from 1916 to 1945. In the other arm, Liberty holds an oak sprig which is resting on the Panamanian shield. The purity and weight are listed to the right and the date below. Interestingly enough, the coins were minted by the Philadelphia U.S. Mint. Over to Europe, I had to have the Leif Erikson commemorative 1000 kroner from Iceland. It's a stunning coin. The obverse depicts an interpretation of the Sterling Calder statue of Leif Erikson, the first European explorer to step foot on the Americas, not some historically twisted idiot trying to get to China. Not that I have an opinion on that, though. The statue was given to Iceland in 1930 by the United States to commemorate the millennium of the Iceland Parliament. Now that's a long time. But, like the other coins, the reverse is what got me. A bold version of Iceland's coat of arms that has the 4 protectors of Iceland. In the lower left and going clockwise, you have the bull, the griffin, the dragon, and the rock giant, Jötun. And if you think I got that pronunciation right, I mean, come on, it's Iceland. Nobody can speak Icelandic. And by the way, this coin was minted at the Philadelphia U.S. Mint. Okay, I'm cheating here and I'm slipping in a U.S. coin. But I had to show the 2000 Leif Erikson $1 U.S. coin that was issued as a set with the Iceland Kroner 1000. Now, when I hear myself say that, it sounds like a super broom name for Quidditch in Harry Potter. Both were minted by the U.S. Mint in Philadelphia. The obverse is really good, but the reverse is awesome. The engraving of the Viking ship is just outstanding. I mean, just look at it. I also like that a unique font was used other than the standard serif U.S. Mint font. And again, I'm going to blame my buddy Dean from Massabesic Gold and Silver for throwing my money away on these coins. Thanks, Dean. You're such a huge help. Seriously, I got to stop watching other people's channels. Tired of coin sidebar? How about we look at a note that I just picked up? This is a $10 banknote from the Canadian Bank of Commerce that was issued in 1917, and what's really cool? It's a large size. I'm going to do a video with this note along with the 1896 educational series. Can anybody think why? But the back of the note is the real reason that I got this. End of sidebar and back to coins. The £2 face value Britannia has been issued by Great Britain's Royal Mint since 1997. The obverse has the effigy of Queen Elizabeth II with the abbreviated Latin text translated by the grace of God, Queen, Defender of the Faith, on a Galesh security textured background of the 4/9 silver purity bullion coin. The reverse has the iconic figure of Britannia standing firm against a powerful gale with a shield in one hand and her trident in the other. Her image has symbolized Britain's strength and integrity on coinage since Roman times. A radial sunburst design behind Britannia adds anti-counterfeiting protection. With the passing of Queen Elizabeth II, the 2023 Britannia obverse has the portrait of King Charles III, only this time the abbreviated Latin text translates to, by the grace of God, King, Defender of the Faith. The obverse of the 4/9 silver purity bullion coin continues using the textured background. Britannia remains on the reverse, but in 2021, the coin had 4 new security features added. Frankly, I'm never going to show these on video, so I'm using video from the Royal Mint. A latent image that acts like a hologram and changes from a padlock to a trident when the coin is seen from different angles is used. Microtext was added surrounding Britannia with a Latin inscription which translates to an ornament and safeguard. Tincture lines, don't ask me what they are, were added to the shield design, and the background was changed from radial lines to a wave-like surface animation. Have to admit, man, these are super cool. Well, I saw this coin and I said, yep, I gotta have it. Can't blame anybody else. And I gotta start with the reverse of Great Britain's 2022 Tudor's Beast, the Lion of England. I originally saw the Queen's Beast collection and said, nah, I'm not going to pay that price, and then the Tudor Beast collection came out. I can afford that. I only have one of the 5 because, I'm not really a coin guy. The depiction is of the Royal Crowned Lion of England supporting the royal arms of King Henry VIII. King Henry VIII! The £5 face value obverse has the last portrait of Queen Elizabeth II. The coin is 2 troy ounces, and you just have to love a chunk of silver like this. I'll be honest, I'm not a huge fan of Austria's Vienna Philharmonic coin, but I got one because it is a classic bullion coin. The obverse features the pipe organ of the orchestra along with the date and the 150 and euro cent value. The reverse engraving bears several orchestral instruments including a cello in the center, flanked by a pair of violins, a French horn, a harp, flute, and a bassoon. How often do you get to say bassoon? The German inscription at the top translates to Vienna Philharmonic, where the coin name comes from. Heading to Africa, I had to get an example of the Somali Republic 100 shillings coin because of the obverse, which has their coat of arms. I've seen a lot of coat of arms, but the simplicity of having 2 leopards holding the Somali flag? Simple and beautiful. That's all I gotta say. But the elephant reverse is what the Somali bullion coin is famous for. First minted in 2004, the coin has a different depiction of an elephant every year. Speaking of Somalia sidebar, here in Minnesota we've decided to adopt a rendition of Somalia's flag with our brand new state flag like yesterday brand new. I'm not a fan, but it beats the seal on a blue bedsheet. Here's the old and the runners up. Comment if you're into vexillology. End of sidebar. Well, I can't afford the famous gold Krugerrand, so I got the next best affordable option. The obverse features the effigy of Paul Kruger, the first elected president of the South African Republic. The reverse is the image of a springbok antelope found primarily in southern and southwestern Africa and is one of South Africa's national symbols. The silver Krugerrand was first minted in 2017 that celebrated the 50-year anniversary of the first gold Krugerrand bullion issue. Jumping over to Asia, I have to start with the reverse of yet another classic sovereign bullion issue, and that's the Chinese panda coin. The face value of the 10 won panda has been issued continuously since 1987, and honestly, who doesn't love pandas? The obverse features the beautiful Temple of Heaven from central Beijing as the heart of the design. Above are Chinese characters that translate to People's Republic of China. Overall, it is a pretty stunning piece of silver. I wanted the 1947 1 peso commemorative because of the history of this coin and the love that the people of the Philippines have for General of the Army Douglas MacArthur, who liberated the island nation from the Japanese in 1945. It's also very rare for a nation to have a military officer from another nation on their coins. The reverse has the coat of arms. The coin was designed by Laura Garden Fraser, a renowned sculptor and designer of today's $quarter obverse portrait of George Washington. Along with the 50 centavos, these were the first coinage of the new Republic of the Philippines and were minted by the San Francisco U.S. Mint. A very interesting world history coin. Australia has been producing a bullion favorite for years, and like the others, I have to start with the reverse. Minted since 1990 is the Kookaburra, which, by the way, is sitting in a gum tree, although I have no idea how old it is. Every year, the Perth Mint issues a different Kookaburra design. And coming soon for 2024, King Charles III will be on the 2024 Kookaburra. And how can you not hear the song in your head right now? That's it. I know. I didn't think it would take that long. Otherwise, I wouldn't have done it. It's coins. But if you're going to dive in, you might as well dive into the deep end. And there is a lot more to these coins. Like paper currency, I really do appreciate the beauty, artwork, and engraving skill of all these coins. Do you know how hard it is to sculpt something to look 3D in less than a millimeter in height? Seriously, incredible. That's all I have for video number 42, What's in My Office, Part 2, World Sovereign Silver Coins. Is there anything that I left out that I should just have? I gotta have? Let me know in the comments. As always, I appreciate your time, and if you like what you see, please hit the thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel, and thank you for checking in.